he controls the largest market share in Zimbabwe. But when you also look at the fact that because of his operations in Zimbabwe and his operations offshore, he has since become a billionaire. And basically, he has shown that you could set up something so viable and become a multimillionaire or a billionaire. But remember, we must never forget the first decade between 1980 and 1990, where they are informed by Marxist-Leninist thinking. And it's always about keeping people down, because a person like Strive, if he were given a level playing field in this marketplace and he can campaign for power, if people like the message that he's delivering, he can win the election. Now imagine when you've got you've got Tinashe, you've got Rufaro, you've got Munya there. Now you've got 20 billionaires in Zimbabwe. What does that mean to the political establishment?
Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. So we are back. And today we are, it's an election season. So obviously all our reporting, all our commentaries are just circulating around the current affairs and what's going on in Zimbabwe, to be specific. But a lot is also happening in South Africa. So I'm kind of mixed there too, because I'm in between, Yes, 20 years in Zim, 20 years in South Africa. So I'm pretty much of a balance. All right, guys. So what I'm going to say right now is that we have to be looking at these two videos. Mr. President, Your Excellency. I would say I've never had an opportunity to speak to the President, Edie, but I wish I could. I'm going to say, Your Excellency, these were your words. Take a listen.
The people have spoken. You yourself said, if the people say I must step down, you shall comply. This is the time to comply. Because the voice of the people is the voice of God. Today, we are witnessing the beginning of a new unfolding democracy. No one is more important than the other. We are all Zimbabweans. We want to grow our economy. We want peace in our country. We want jobs in our country. I'm already receiving messages of cooperation and support for us to grow our economy.
You heard him. The voice of the people is the voice of God. You heard the president. The voice of the people is the voice of God. You heard his promises. Did you hear him? You also heard him saying that if he fails, we have the right to remove him. Did you hear him saying that? Mr. President, you are a phenomenal person, but we can all agree today, without a shadow of a doubt, that your leadership, including your cabinet, have disappointed the people of Zimbabwe heavily. At this time here, I heard especially polarization among our people. Division, I heard division. Because when the enemy is one of the tools that he uses to divide people so he can keep on hurting them. And we need to come together and fix this country, and really deal with corruption heavily. So one thing that shocked me last week is that I heard you saying a statement that I actually cried when I heard you say that. I did not expect those words to come out of my father, because for me, a president is like a father, a leader. We hold them in high regard. So their words matters. I want you guys to take a listen at the words that came out of the president. Take a listen.
Democracy, order to do the democracy. Msoro wa mbuya wako. ya democracy oda kuti zvitu zve democracy yakafamba sei musoro wambuya wako.
That's too heavy. It's too heavy for me because I don't like swearing. I don't like to listen to negative words. I prefer people who speak positively. Like, I think the whole country needs to be revamped. When I say that, I'm talking about mental sanity in terms of mental reset. I guess we need to call monks. You know the monks, yes, that helps in terms of stabilizing your mental. You know the monks, you can take a drug addict today or a person who's dilapidated in terms of their mental capabilities into the monastery. They'll come out brand new because the monastery will cleanse up your mind and reset so that at least we can be able to restart. I think after this election, we're going to have to hire monks. I'm sure, I don't know if there are monks in Zimbabwe. If you're there, hello, I'm asking you to come here. Please help us because we're going to have mental cleansing in that country to restart because people are completely broken. Therapists, I'm telling you, you're going to have a lot of work. Lifetime coaches, you're going to have a lot of work. For me as a motivational speaker, of course, I'm going to be motivating. I'm going to move from schools, especially schools. I'm targeting the youth. I want to help you to be stable, to understand purpose. That's going to be my assignment. God knows what. I'm preparing for that because I really want to see this country functioning again. You know what I mean? So I'll play my part. But guys, where we are here, I've got this woman that I love and I love and I love and I love. I want to cry when I think about her. I want to kiss her. Her name is Gloria. Phenomenal woman who's intelligent. But she's got so much wisdom. As a matter of fact, you guys are going to hear quite a number of clips that I'm going to use from her because she is literally like outlining the journeys that we walked like pre-independence and post-independence. Like earlier, especially for you guys in the 90s and the 2000s, I'm in the 80s. So pretty much I didn't know nothing in my 80s, so she's literally kind of breaking down, the chain of events that led us to where we are today. So I would like you guys to take a listen at what she had to say. What is the problem in our political space? It's a challenge. Dr. Gideon Gono said the same thing. Something's wrong. It's the politics that is so toxic that is affecting almost every area of our Zimbabwean building structure. Take a listen.
When you are in business and you are operating at a certain level in business, you are considered perhaps a conglomerate or a large-scale operation. It would be foolhardy to not protect your interests and start interfacing with the decision makers. Also, you need to understand that a lot of people who make regulations in government or who make policies that affect the private sector, a lot of them have not even run a tuck shop. So and when you look at our politicians in Zimbabwe, actually, most of them came from the war. We've got career politicians who have been in government since 1980. And the businesses that they've run being in government, influencing processes, but they've never been at the coalface of business without political power. Now, having said that, how do we draw the line between, for lack of a better phrase, us licking politicians so that the survival of your business is maintained, or genuinely interfacing with politicians for the purpose of educating them, for the purpose of selling benefits to them that if you allow, for example, Strive to set up Econet, these are the contributions he's going to make to the fiscus in terms of taxes. There's income tax, For the employees, there's tax, VAT for the products we buy from there, and then there's company tax. All those things accrue to government. Where then do you draw the line? In Zimbabwe, I'm saying this with caution. In Zimbabwe, it seems every Tom, Dick, and Harry who wants to join the ruling party, it's all about making money. But also, there have been surprises from the ruling party when they see a Tinashe or a Rufaro succeeding and you are not a card-carrying member of ZANU-PF. So what type of climate do we want for the private sector to thrive in Zimbabwe? Do we want people who are always paying homage to the government, or we want independent thinkers who interact with government as equals? I believe that during the first decade and part of the second decade, when you look at cabinet during that first republic, Mugabe was interacting with equals. You had the Dr. Chizeros, you had the Jobgos, the Nyagumbos, the Kangais, you name it. They were interacting as peers. As we are now moving to the Second Republic, I do not believe that. There are people who actually can sit with certain people in government and tell them that we are going wrong here for these reasons. There was a time, I think it was during the reorientation decade, 1990 to 2000, when government employees' salaries were increased. And President Mugabe actually came out and said, I have increased salaries by a certain percentage. I wanted to do more. But Chizero said, we've got no money. And he listened. That statement alone tells you that these were guys who were in government, who were communicating as peers. Now, even the business people of that day, I believe that they could sit around a table and talk to the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Industry and Commerce, could talk even to the president and educate, inform, and hopefully persuade. Nowadays, I doubt. I think the power dynamics have shifted and government has got the upper hand, and entrepreneurs are just interacting with the ruling party for survival, not to educate, to influence, and to persuade.
Okay. You heard it. I completely agree with it. The lack of understanding. How do you know? Just check. When you check Nick Mangwana in terms of how you communicate on social media, when you check George Charamba too, he threatens people on social media. He does not even know that he's there to serve people, not to serve his own personal interest or the party. You are a spokesperson in the president's office, which means you cater for every Zimbabwean, young and old, you know, rich and poor, dark and light, you know, smiling and frowning, Mr. George. So we expect you really to take this role seriously. But you always politicize every role in Zimbabwe in terms of all our national institutions. They've been personalized. Do I agree with Trevor? 150%. You know, as people think ZANU-PF is everything. No. You guys, you've got a sense of entitlement that is stupid because it's not taking us anywhere. The president is the president of Zimbabwe, not of ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF is a party. You know, I understand that. So don't come and start bullying people. Be respectful. Be respectful. So I'm just saying, I agree with Gloria 150%. If you don't understand what happens in business, ask business people. You fall, you rise again. Ask me, I'll tell you about it. It's not easy. It's not easy. And when you have that experience, it's easier to understand where the country is going. This is why, for me, I feel like as much as people may say a lot about Asivia Kasukwire, I feel like he's such a national treasure. When I listen to all his interviews, he's someone that I know he's going to actually play a very huge role. Guys, no matter what happens, can he be the minister of the youth and development? Because this man has such direction, and we need to work with people that have the capabilities, not just shouting because you're holding a card and be screaming. And as a matter of fact, all you people who always use screaming and shouting, let me just be honest with you, your screaming and shouting won't work come post-election. It will not work. Nobody's got time for screaming. People have time for ideas. What is it that you have to give to us before you want us to talk? That's what we're going to be looking into. So, guys, that's all I have for you today. So, more to come. Stick around. We're going to have fun closer to elections, but we need to educate you, not only for elections, but educate you post-election, because we have purpose to fulfill, and we're going to walk this journey together. No one will fail. Yes, your dreams will rise again. You're called for higher purpose, and don't let the enemy tell you otherwise. You're great people, and believe in yourself. I believe in you, and I can see where you're going. So please, don't undermine yourself. All love from me. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and make sure your notification button is on, because people have been asking me why we don't get notified. Because your buttons are not on. Please run there and turn it on. The moment I drop a video, you'll be the first one, and I'm going to drop for you. I love you so much, and God bless you. See you later.